Okay, so I'm doing this video today, and basically this video, unlike my others that I make, I will actually be switching this so it's public on social media. Okay, because obviously the videos that I make are like just for like the only people that see them are friends and friends of friends, but this will be going public and it will be uploaded onto YouTube as well, because I think probably what I'm probably going to talk about right now is probably something which is happening all across the country to vulnerable people, and they're pretty much living in the dark. Okay, and I'm not joking. I think I've clearly come across a problem. Okay, and yeah, I think this needs to be highlighted. So in a video that I done many months ago, we were stuck, this was in the winter, we were stuck in the position at my mum's house where the key for the key meter wouldn't work. Okay, it was faulty or something like that, so it wouldn't work. So we were desperately trying everything we could with the electricity company to get a key, a replacement key, which never happened. Okay, so we were plunged into darkness in our house, and obviously it was cold because it was a winter, so we were all sort of like piled in one room basically. Okay, and obviously my mum's vulnerable. She's got a serious medical condition, Raynaud's disease, so if her feet, her fingers and toes get cold, they will have to be amputated. Okay, and I'm not even exaggerating that. Okay, she's already lost part of one finger. Okay, so yeah, if she gets cold, it will kill her. That's a fact. Okay, so with that situation that happened with SSE, we finally got it sorted, because we'd actually rung the housing association Selwood to help us out, which they did, and one of their agents actually came out and brought a key to us, which was amazing. Okay, but we were continuously being fobbed off by SSE, saying that we could go to any pay zone where you go to basically get your key topped up, and they will have spare keys there. Now here's the thing, I went to every single pay zone that's in more than our local area, because I went further afield, and not one single place has never had any keys or cards. They don't exist. It's an absolute myth. It's a Greek legend, right? It's a Greek myth. Okay, so basically today, the situation that I'm dealing with, which I've dealt with hopefully, so because of the extortionate prices that my mum was paying on the SSE key that we had, we decided that we were going to switch with a cheaper provider, because my mum, and I shit you not, right, we don't use that much electricity in our house, which I don't get, but she was putting on nearly £60 a day on that key, right? And if I can remember rightly, I remember that there was a day when she was only down to £20 of credit that was left on that key. So I watched it and I timed it with an egg timer, right, to see how long that £20 lasted, right? And it was an hour, and I couldn't believe it. So I actually rung them up, SSE, to find out if I gave them the Rita meeting numbers and everything, and they were blatantly lying. Okay, because there is absolutely no way that should be that high, right? We had a problem a couple of years before that where I actually rung them because the Rita meetings seemed to be crazy high for some reason, and they did acknowledge that there was a problem. Okay, so back to where we are now. So mum has switched service providers to British Gas. So we've been waiting for them to send a replacement key out. They sent a card, but that was initially for an instalment of a smart meter. But what has transpired is, and this comes from our next door neighbours, right, is they went to have a smart meter fitted in their property, but because of the storage heaters, the old type storage heaters that they have in the property, smart meters will not run them. They're not compatible. They won't work. So basically what it would mean is that our neighbours had a smart meter installed, right? And they found out when it came to winter that their heater weren't working. Their heating weren't working. So that was why. So they had to have it reverted back to an old meter put in, okay? So we already knew from that the smart meter wasn't going to be an option, okay? Even though they assured us it would work, but we knew it wouldn't. So basically, limbo land, where we are now, is we are waiting for them to send a key. So basically, it's been a couple of days now, and no keys turn up, okay? And I've been online onto live chat. I first went onto their complaints department with British Gas, and they've now put me to their people that deal with just standard shit, yeah? So I've done it on live chat. So I've done it purposely on there because I can save my chat history with them of the conversation for if it goes to court, okay? Because basically, if you're without power and you lose like the food in your freezer and that, you're entitled to compensation, okay? And obviously we have expensive koi carp in the pond as well. So if they die, they will be getting sued the fuck out of. The thing is, right, is by me doing it with Chatlog and getting everything on there, they've actually already acknowledged on that chat log that they know that my mum is vulnerable and on a vulnerable list, so she would be a priority case. So they've tried fobbing us off with the pay zone things. I've told them that what they're trying to tell me is absolute bullshit because I will not get a key anywhere. I won't. I know I won't because we've already been there before. So they've told me that it's sent priority like in the post, okay, and it'll be with us 3 or 4 days. So we will see. But here's the thing, right, and this is where I want to go with this, right, is how many other pensioners and vulnerable people out there in this country right now, right at this moment in time, have done the same thing where they've decided that they were going to switch service providers, and looking online, British Gas seemed to be the cheapest one with pay as you go. I know there's a lot of shit about them at the moment with their forced installations of pay as you go meters, but still, there'll be a lot of old people out there that will be trying to save that money, that will be switching to British Gas, that will be on a key meter. They'll have the exact same issue, right? Because a lot of their properties will have the old night storage heaters in, so they won't be able to have a smart meter neither. And they're basically left in the dark. How many people? I mean, I wish I had posed the question now of how many. I mean, they probably wouldn't be able to give me that sort of information through live chat and that. But come on, if it's happening to one person, there must be more people out there. And here's the thing, right? A lot of old elderly people might not have like children that'll be able to sort them out, and a lot of them won't have access to being able to do things online like I've just done. Yeah, they might not have internet and things like that, and they might be solely relying on the old school telephone thing, and that clearly doesn't work because it clearly doesn't work. You know, going onto the phone, because they can tell you anything over the phone. And I'm not being funny, but if you're hard of hearing, and you're dealing with somebody that does speak English, but they speak with a foreign accent, it can be very difficult to try and understand what they're telling you as well, which is another issue. But yeah, this needs to be highlighted, right? Because I'm almost certain that there's a hell of a lot of old people out there right now that are without power because of this exact same situation. And I don't think really these energy providers are doing enough. you know. Really, they should be sending one of their engineers should have keys, and they should be able to send them out to deal with this shit. Not fob you off with, oh, you can go to a Payzone store. They've never had keys. Every Payzone which I asked at that time, right, they've never ever had a key. Their spare keys there to give to people. Never. You know, they've never had it. It's never existed. So we shall see what goes on with the this week. I'm hoping that the one that they've allegedly sent out does come. The thing is, because I've done what I've done and done it on the chat log, I'm able to save all that chat log, which I have done. So yeah, the longer they leave it, the worse it's going to get. Because like I say, if you start to lose stuff in your freezer and stuff, you know, or you've got tropical fish and you lose those, you know. So we will see how it goes, but I'm uploading this video onto YouTube because this can't be an isolated incident. There must be loads of old people out there that have done the same thing, switched providers, and they're basically ghosted by the company. They are literally ghosted. That's how what's happened with us, is they've ghosted us, and they're telling us things from what I'm seeing at the beginning as not being true, like a key's been sent, because they were unable to provide us with the evidence that a key had been sent, and they should be able to if they're sending it through the post. So we will see what transpires and see if we get this issue resolved. Because if they don't, I'm going to look into buying a meter myself, and I will be going down the route of having somebody qualified to fit it, and I will be offering payment to National Grid directly, knowing full well that they do not have the facilities in order to process any form of payments, and that's why National Grid rely on all these third parties like SSE and British Gas and all that. You know, they're not the ones supplying you with the electricity, it's the National Grid. And because the National Grid don't have the billing facilities, okay, here we go with this. If you offer to pay a debt and payment is refused, and that this is in regards with any debt, that debt becomes null and void in law, okay, under the Bill of Exchange. So there, I do know, and I have seen online of many other people that are taking this stance against the electricity companies now, with their own boxes in and stuff, and I don't blame them now. Not after seeing what's happening. You can end up with tons of people, and it will mainly be elderly, that are basically going to be living back in the bloody Victorian era. So going to be candles, and then you're going to have the risk of fires in the houses as well. Christ bloody hell, you know, it's madness. So I'm going to leave that video there, and I'm going to put this one so it's public, and I'm going to put it up on YouTube and hopefully share it around people, because I really genuinely don't think that this is an isolated thing. I think that there will be many other people out there, mainly elderly, that are dealing with this same issue. So yeah, it's scary.